All right, continuing on with Remembrance of the Cousin. I don't know how many videos this is going to take to talk about this. Pretty major issue here with me and my cousin playing with fire. So, I brought gasoline into the situation, and the gasoline had dripped on my cousin's leg. Um, it would have helped if he wasn't wearing shorts, I'm sure. If he at least had jeans or something on to protect his legs, because the gasoline was like directly on his skin of his leg, and the fire was burning his leg directly. Nothing to protect it. So the gasoline was definitely not a good idea. So don't try this at home. Don't play with fire, and especially don't play with fire with gasoline. I don't remember. I think both of us were just in shock that that happened. Really shouldn't have been in shock because it's it's to be expected that this type of thing would happen. If you're going to play with fire and gasoline, this is probably what's going to happen. Somebody's going to get hurt. But I think we were both shocked. And because I don't remember us saying anything after that. Might have said something, but I don't remember what it was. I just remember the seeing his leg catching fire and him rolling on the ground to put the fire out. So the fire went out, so he was fine after that. Fine, that's not maybe that's not a good word for that. Um so I guess I cleaned up and like put everything away, like so there wasn't any evidence behind the barn there. Um I don't remember there being any anger. I don't think my cousin like blamed me for what happened because it was my idea to do this. It was an accidental thing that happened, that he accidentally got gasoline on his leg, and the accident of the fire getting on his leg, that was accidental. Nobody wanted anyone to get hurt. But there was no anger. Nobody was yelling at anyone about this. Um, so I remember after that, uh, my sister was around. I think she might have been around for the whole thing, but she was in the house, and we were behind the barn, so she didn't know anything about it. But my cousin, we had this. I don't know why, but we had, I guess, from when we were younger, so we had this like this pool, this well kiddie pool, like for the lawn. I do remember being in one of those pools when I was really young, well, many years before this. So I guess that's the same one that I had been in many years before. Otherwise, I don't know why we would have had a kiddie pool there. I when I remember being in this pool, I remember like it might have been nice and fun to be in the water. Wasn't very deep, so that was why I liked it since I couldn't swim. But I remember like sometimes being grossed out because sometimes there would be bugs floating in the water. So my cousin took this kiddie pool and he filled it up. We also had like a hose. I don't know why we had a hose. I guess for watering the lawn. I don't know what we had a hose for, but we had a long green hose, and so my cousin took the hose and turned on the thing on the side of the house, and he filled up the kiddie pool with water, and then he got in to soak his leg in the water. So I don't know if this was a good idea or not, like, but he was just doing it to. I'm assuming it was cold water, so he was doing it just to relieve the the pain. I can only imagine what it was like for him. Uh, so he just was putting his he left soaking his leg in the cold water for the in the kiddie pool. I suppose that's better than nothing. So it might have helped a little bit. There wasn't a doctor around, so we were just kids, like around 11 or 12, 10, 11 or 12. So we didn't know what we were doing. So this is what he just decided to do, and I guess it was helping a little bit, but I do remember he was still complaining about the pain. Uh, yeah, cause so we lived out in the country, um, like 5 to 10 miles. Well, the closest town was like about 5 miles away. There was no like hospital there, and the town where my cousin lived and where I used to live was even farther away. So that was like if there was a car there, nobody had a car. There wasn't a car available to go anywhere. So I don't know if my sister even had a license, but there was no car because if there was, we would have taken him somewhere. So the nearest hospital was, I'm not sure how many miles away, but by car, like maybe like 15 minutes away. But since there was no car, he was just stuck there, suffering from the burns from the fire, gasoline. So he was not doing good. I don't know. The most I ever burned myself like was with like this really hot water, really hot water. I don't know if it was like it was must have been close to boiling water, but it was when I was working at a fast food place, and it spilled on my arm, and so I was complaining a lot for that, and I had to leave because I think they were tired of listening to me complain, but that was nothing compared to what my cousin went through. So I don't know how much pain he was going through because like I wonder if he like took some kind of like aspirin or something to help relieve the pain. But like all I knew was all he did for the pain was soak his leg in cold water. So he must have been in a lot of pain. Um, I didn't hear him complaining the whole time. A little bit, like there was a little bit of complaining, but I think he stopped. So maybe the soaking in the cold water helped at least some, so he wasn't in as much pain. So because I didn't, he wasn't like constantly yelling and complaining about being in pain. I don't. So maybe he did take some aspirin to relieve the pain. So when my parents got back, before my parents got back, my cousin was talking to me about like what our story should be. Um, so he came up with a story that we were gonna say what happened. So I don't know. I don't know why he came up with a story. I wonder, like, if he thought like if we said this instead that we wouldn't have gotten in trouble. But his story wasn't a very good story. Um, I guess his story, he felt his story was better than the truth because what we did was pretty bad. Um, so my parents were there, and I remember my cousin was explaining what happened, and I was not going along with it. Because it didn't make me look good at all, and it wasn't believable. But so my cousin was telling my dad about what happened. He said, I don't know why he said that I did this, but he said that I picked up the burn barrel like this and it was hot, which really doesn't make sense, and threw it at my cousin. And the barrel landed on my cousin's leg. This is insane as I'm saying this. So the hot barrel had landed on my cousin and burned his leg that way. My cousin said this is what happened. And while my cousin was saying this, I was saying, "No, I didn't do that." And my cousin was like, "No, don't, don't say anything." So I think like I was thinking like as ridiculous as this sounded, my dad was just like, "Oh, okay." So my dad was probably like not believing it, but he didn't say anything to it. But I think like because I was thinking that because I was saying no, that didn't happen. Like it might have been like perceived as um, because I was saying it didn't happen. I was like saying that the lie. Like who do you believe? Like if the person is saying that what was happening didn't like if I because I was like saying I was thinking because I was saying hmm I don't know what I was thinking. Like I'm trying to make sense of it.